my dogs, of course I start filming, and then all my dogs have to click, click, click their little fingernails and come in here and lay down and be with me, which is so sweet. I think they're done now. Hello, readers. I have a little bit of time this morning to get a video filmed, at least filmed. I have class this morning, and then I have a pretty busy day, but I have been having trouble with my internet, and there's going to be somebody that comes out and looks at it this week, but it just kind of on and off intermittent outages at the most inconvenient time, so there's that. But today we're going to talk about what's on my TBR for August, and it's a really interesting TBR, and I'm not sure how I feel about it, except I've committed to it. I've thought about it. I've committed to it. It is what is going to happen, and may or may not be exciting to you because you've seen some of these very recently, but there's a method to this madness. So let's get started. So the theme for my August TBR is, let's call it Once More with Feeling, maybe. The theme is I want to finish some things that I started and didn't finish. Some last month, some prior to last month. So that's kind of the track that this TBR is taking. I started a few books recently, some of them for the reading rush, some of them for other reasons, and they're just kind of sitting here. And I had two choices. At the end of the month, I could restack them and say, yeah, no, that's not going to happen. Or I could get diligent and try to get some of these read. Now, I've got a pretty robust TBR, and I don't think that this is going to be finished completely in August, but I'm going to sort of challenge myself to tie up these loose ends and finish some of these reads that I already started. And then there's a couple brand new ones for me too. So if I'm feeling like, yeah, no, I don't want to do that, I can pick up one of the new ones. So here we go. Got my coffee, got my stack. This is my Gay Icons cup, by the way. I got it from my daughter, Megan. It's black until you put hot coffee in it, and then it turned into this great array of windows with gay icons in the windows. Okay, I started this really 2 months ago and got very little into it. But I want to try to focus on a business book more often in the month too. That's kind of what I want to do for the rest of the year, is think about a business book I want to read during the month. And some of you may know, some of you who are new to my channel may not. I have a coaching business. I'm an International Coach Federation credentialed coach, professional certified coach, and I coach people during the day, and I deliver some coach training and mentor coaching now, or I'm in a class to learn how to be a great mentor coach to other coaches. And so I do a lot of coaching and I listen to a lot of coaching, and I meet a lot of coaches along the way. And I actually have met Beth Bueller. She wrote this book called The Introvert Entrepreneur a number of years ago. And I got it recently and started it and have not completed it. And so Beth is a great coach. She's a great human being, and I want to give this a shot. And again, I just have picked it up now and again when I had a moment, and usually when I'm sitting after journaling and I have my coffee, but I don't spend a lot of time reading in that part of my day. So I would like to get a little bit more diligent about setting aside maybe lunchtime for this, or some specific time of the day for me to create a habit of reading something that will move me forward in my business in one way or another. So this is that pick for August, and we'll see how I do. Then I did get a stack from Megan. If you saw last month's video, books I borrowed from my daughter, and this was in the stack, and I want to get to that stack sooner than later. It's a short one. I feel like it'll be a quick read. I can maybe finish it in one day. I was hoping I could listen to it, but I can't find it anywhere on audio. That's been a problem for a lot of the books in this stack, actually. So I will read it, the physical copy, which is not a terrible thing. I just get a lot more read when I can listen to some stuff. So there's that, but I'm looking forward to this. It is a thriller. It's a woman who's a reporter, I think, and she goes back to the town she's from, and there's some victims and something happening there, and she is kind of triggered by some things that happened in her childhood. And I loved Gone Girl a lot, so I'm hoping that I like this one too. This I talked about briefly, I think. I don't know for sure, but I think it was possibly in a summer reads video. It was in a book list video of books I thought would be good to read in the summer, I think. And it's The 2-Week Wait by Sarah Rayner. I have not started this, or Sharp Objects. But it just is, for one, it's a beautiful cover. For two, it seems like a great summer read. 3, I've never read Sarah Rayner, so that would be a new author to me. And 4, it is a book that takes place in a 2-week time period, and I do love books that condense into a couple of hours or a day or a week or even a month. I love those, so they're kind of intriguing to me. So this follows 2 women who meet each other. One is longing to have a baby, and the other one is, I guess they're both waiting to have a baby. They're both wanting to have a baby. That's what it is. And I guess how they help each other is the plot of this book. I have another one by Sarah Rayner on ebook, and so if I like this, I'll pick that up probably soon. But yeah, I don't know, it's been calling to me. And I think it's set in Brighton, which is even better because I have a friend who's a coach who lives in Brighton. So this will be perfect. I'm going to reach out to her because I think the author lives in Brighton too. Yeah. How fun is that? I'm going to send her a message today and say, hey, do you know this woman? The Shadow of the Wind, Carlos Ruiz Zafón, was on my Reading Rush TBR. Didn't get to it. Had started it years ago, didn't finish it, probably need to start it again, but it is still calling me. So when I touched it to put it back, I said, no, don't put it back. Let's give it a shot. I cannot also find this on audio, which is frustrating because I would have liked to have listened to it, I think. But I mean, I guess I could buy it. There's no question I could buy it, but that's the decision is, do I want to buy one of these on Libro and listen to them? Maybe. But this is a mystery in a series. This is the first, set in Barcelona, as I recall, and we talked about it before, but a bookstore, a boy discovers a book by an author that he really loves and then discovers that the books are all missing, and it says it's an epic story of murder, madness, and doomed love. Yeah, sign me up. Perfect. And what better time to read a book about a book that is set in a different country so you can kind of escape from the one that you're quarantined in at the moment, right? The Good Daughter by Alexandra Burt. I started for the Reading Rush. I got about that far in. I like it, but it has a complex number of characters in the beginning, and you're getting snippets of each one of them back to back for the most part. And because it was Reading Rush and I was trying to rush into reading as many books as I could, I was stumbling a little bit with remembering who was whom and where they lived and what was important about them in order to track where this was going. But I feel like I'll just give it some good thought right now. And so this follows Dahlia and a number of other women who returns to her childhood home to live near her mother, and her mother has some secrets and some things happen and she's confused and trying to sort them out, and is also reconnected with someone she knew when she lived there before. And there's just a lot of but I don't want to let too much time go by. I want to finish this. It was an Advent book exchange gift from Megan, and if I don't keep up with it, I will lose all the memory of all of these characters that I've been introduced to. So this one will probably go closer to the top of the stack because I don't want to, my mind will just throw that out if it's not significant after a while. This one as well, Reading Rush TBR, started it, got, oh goodness, do I not? Oh, I do. I was like, do I not have a bookmark? Got 40-ish pages in. Love it so far. Great introduction of these women. want to find out what happens to them. So the plot of this is Meg Waite Clayton is great at character development and stories about women, connected women, and how they're connected for women. We're in college and law school together. One of them is now being considered as a Supreme Court justice nominee, and they are waiting for her confirmation. And something is brought up in the confirmation hearing about a death that occurred years before, and they all know about this, and so they then leave the hearing and go off to an island, I think, somewhere near DC, but that is kind of private, and I guess they're going to sort out what to do and remember what happened. And so it is a lot of back and forth from when they were in law school and when they met to now, and so there's a lot of development there. It's a slow burn, I would say. Usually hers are, although The Last Train to London was not such a slow burn for me once I was able to really get into it, but we'll see. But I've had this on my shelf. I love this author, and I want to finish it. I want to commit to keeping up with it. You very well may see some of these again in September, right? Double Indemnity, I wanted to read. I didn't get to it. It's very short. I've marked it out because there's 3 novels in here, so it's just that long, very short. And what I also did discover is there is a audio version of this on Scribd, and it's a radio show version. So I don't think it's the actual novel. I think it's just the story played out, by actors on the radio, which is delightful. And I may still listen to that, but that's not the same as reading the novel. So I'm going to have to pick up the physical copy because that's the only audio copy that I could find thus far. Okay, now let's get to the ebooks that I want to finish. The Last Time I Lied by Riley Sager. I'm actually almost finished with that, and I need to finish that soon, today, because it's going back to the library. I am kind of on a Riley Sager kick lately, and I finished Home Before Dark last month, and I'd like to finish this one, as I said, soon. And then I have Final Girls that I borrowed from Megan, and I think that's all that he's ever written. So I would be completely caught up with his work. I'm enjoying The Last Time I Lied. I don't know that I'm enjoying it as much as some of the others that I've already read by Riley Sager, but I like it. So it follows a girl who was at a summer camp, and she was in a cabin with some other girls, and something happened to those girls. And fast forward to the present day, she's asked to return to the summer camp, and she's agreed to do that because she's always wondered what happened to them. And so it's kind of a spooky Friday the 13th kind of vibe, but not quite that spooky. Like, it's not horror, I wouldn't say, at least not yet. But yeah, there's a lot of characters. There's a lot of flashbacks. Like I said, just, yeah, I mean, I like it. It's good. Then also on ebook, I recently requested, and the library, I requested that they purchase, and they did. The library got Mexican Gothic. It was on my summer reading list too. And I'm really going to have to fly through that too, because it's already been in my Kindle for a couple of days, and I have, I think, 11 days left. But I have really been intrigued and interested in that. It's a very anticipated novel for me. A lot of my friends have finished it. It follows a woman who marries a guy who he's wealthy, and they move into this kind of Gothic mansion, and it's sort of a modern day, for me it has modern day Rebecca vibes, but there's no dead wife or anything like that, I don't think. But it's just, I've heard great stuff about it, and yet I don't want to know too much about it, so I'm not going to share too much about it with you either, because these kinds of things I really just like to go in a little blind. And then the third one is The House at Riverton, which I do have a hard copy of, but I remembered that I actually also have an ebook copy of this on Nook. Had it for a long time. I think I started it when I first got my Nook and didn't complete it. So I'm not going to read this copy of it, but I am going to read the ebook copy of it if I get to that, because I've been really longing for a Kate Morton this summer. I do love to read Kate Morton in the summer for some reason, and I think this one is set in a warmer time of year than some of the others I just got. So that's on my list of things to read this month on my TBR. All right, and then the last two are also on ebook. They are arcs that I want to get to, and they're both getting good buzz, so I'm not just trying to click them off the list of arcs, but also really feel like they're going to be good. So the first one is The Swap by Robin Harding, and I've had this for a while, and it just came out recently, and I heard some people talking about it, and I thought, oh yeah, I need to get to that. So it follows a couple who are connected. They live near each other, and there's also a teenager somehow connected in this, and there's a night where the couples are together and something happens, and yeah, I mean, there are wedding rings on the cover, and it's called The Swap, so, use your imagination, I guess. But I think the teenager is also somehow involved, so yeah, I've heard people have really enjoyed it and felt like it was good, so I'm intrigued. So that'll be another ebook read for me, and I read ebooks pretty fast. The other one is The Tenant by Katrine Engberg. This is a Scandinavian author, new to me, as is Robin Harding, and a lot of new authors this month on my TBR. And I've had this for a good bit, and it came out not long ago, but it's been out a bit. It's a murder mystery the murder happens in an apartment complex, and a young woman is murdered, and it got pretty good buzz. So there's a lot of thrillers on my list this month for sure, and some, I would say, contemporary for the most part, even though some of them were written a while ago, contemporary novels about women and friendships, and an older murder mystery written by James M. Cain. That certainly is not a new novel, a new read for me. And I'm really excited about that one because it was one of the 8 Perfect Murders mysteries that he referenced in the book. So I have been wanting to get to all of those, and this will be, the ones I haven't read, and this will be one of those. And then a business book, which is new to me. I think that I just need to be more deliberate about that. I have a lot of business books I haven't read, a lot of books about coaching and entrepreneurism, and I work with solopreneurs, coaches who have businesses, and others who have businesses where they are the primary person in the space. So this is a perfect read for me to get some good kind of resource and help my clients in that way. So robust 10 books on my TBR, is that right? I think so. Yeah. That would be 2 books a week. This week that might happen because I'm almost finished with the Riley Sager, but I realize how ambitious this is. And I also realize that while I'm not really mood reading, I will be able to look at this stack and just kind of pick out what is hitting my mood. And I'll be able to read a physical and an ebook copy at least, and maybe listen to some audios. We'll see. Okay. Tell me what you're reading in the month of August. What's on your summer reads list? It's hot, it's sticky, it's humid here, and there's some rumbling in the Gulf. We've already had a couple of days, weeks of total soaking from these tropical systems, and I guess more to come, but that makes it for a good rainy reading day. So we'll get a lot read this month maybe here. Thanks for joining me. I hope you'll subscribe if you haven't already. And once you subscribe, you can like the videos that you really are happy with. And that will also allow you to go back and look at what the list that I shared was, so that you can add some of those to your TBR if you want to do that. Click the bell at the top of the web browser page to get a notification every time a new video is posted. I really appreciate your support, your encouragement, your comments, your sharing of books. Some of you have shared some great books lately that I can't wait to look at and read. I'll share with you some of those soon because I'm going to do a video about what some of you have recommended. And as always, happy reading. Bye.